Mr. Subconscious. Let's have some inner dialogue. Like, subscribe. Hit me up for a consultation. Today we're talking about the psychology of a hater. Man, when you are achieving the concentrations of your future self, you're going to encounter so many haters. You might have some haters now. If you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping. You ain't got no haters, you ain't popping. You ain't got no haters, you ain't popping. The psychology of a hater is interesting because it actually starts with, Drake said, not that he's anybody to really, but it's his bar, allegedly. He said, jealousy is just love and hate at the same time. They love what you have, but they hate that you have it. Not even that they may hate that you have it, but they just hate that they don't. Now, the difference between I would like to say the good jealousy and the bad jealousy is inspiration. A hater and a hustler are diametrically opposed. A hater is one ingredient away from a hustler. But for some reason, they just cannot find a way to get that ingredient. And they know what it is, and we're about to get to it. And I'm about to tell you what that ingredient is. But I want to really set the stage right. A hater is one ingredient away from being a hustler. It's not work ethic. It's much less finite than that. Because somebody could have a high work ethic and still be a hater. I've worked with a lot of people who have high work ethics, but they still a hater. A hustler will find a way to get anything. A hustler is not a mentality of material acquisition only. A hustler's mentality is a mentality that is able to also acquire ethereal things. The acquisition of qualities, not just quantities. A hater doesn't even know that they're one ingredient away. They don't even want to hear you when you try to tell them. What's this ingredient that separates a hater and a hustler? Inspiration. Hustlers are inspired. Haters are not. Haters are uninspired. A hater doesn't realize that fire he has in him to acquire what may be the object of his envy. He doesn't realize that he has the power to acquire what is the object of his envy, or that which is the object of his envy, the target of his envy. Inspiration is the only difference between what would make him a hustler and what keeps him a hater. What do I mean? Fly ass dude walks over to his car. Fly ass car. He has a bespoke suit. Honestly, everything about him is bespoke. His scent, his car, his walk, everything. That's how I looked at my mentors. That's how I looked at my father when I was a kid. I used to be like, man, my dad he's his own man. He's his own, everything about him was custom. Let's look at this peak man. Custom everything. Fly to the nines, everything. Fly car, fly clothes, fly way of talking, fly way of articulating himself. Extremely bright-minded. Got a lot of paper. Got his BMSB right. His body, mind, soul, bread. Run it back. Got his body, mind, soul, and bread right. Run it back. His body, his mind, his soul, and his bread are right, and it is reflecting through everything that he does. May not be a celebrity, but reminds you of young Denzel. Just carries himself with swagger, with poise, with sophistication. A hater will look at this man and say, man, who this man think he is? Who you think he is? You think you all that? Yeah, your car nice, but what I'm supposed to worship you? A hater will look at him and say these things. He might not say these things out loud. That's actually a kind of respectable hater. He's honest, right? And you can see him. They might keep these things quiet and, be fake happy for you. But a hater is not identifiable. They can mask themselves. But internally, they feel this way. Who are you? What is this? What? Why? Why? What? They ask who and what. Who and what. And why. Haters are uninspired and they ask all the wrong questions. Who are you? Who do you think you are? What do you think this is? Why do you have this? Haters are uninspired and they ask who, what, and why. Hustlers are inspired and they don't give a damn about who, what, or why. Unless the why has to do with their main question, which is how. To a hustler, seeing another successful person is motivation enough to ask how. A hustler is not concerned with your success. A hustler is concerned with your process. A hater is never concerned with your process, but is always concerned with your success. I know that any object of desire that I may have is within reach. But a hater looks at objects of desire as objects of envy. It's the same desire. I want it just like he wants it. It's the same desire. Let me calm down, man. I'm really passionate about this, right? Let me calm down. It's the same desire. I want, you want. You might be a hater though. So you're asking why him? You're asking what did he deserve? You're asking who is he? When did you get this? I'm asking how? How did you keep your mind right to stay focused to get here? How did you build the relationships you needed to get here? How did you stay focused? How did you stay encouraged? How did you get a lower APR? Even though I don't buy nothing on loans, that's just an example. How did you finesse your way into this situation? How do you deal with the haters? Haters never realize that it's the same desire, but they're so blinded by envy that they're asking the wrong questions. They're so blinded by envy, they can't see that concentration on their future self and the question how is far more important than the who, why, what, when. How is more important. A hater can't understand that what they feel should motivate them to ask how. Haters and hustlers are not different. There's just a secret ingredient missing. It's like making salsa. In my culture, it's called cachumbari, right? But it's the same food. It's like making salsa, aka pico de gallo, and more like pico de gallo, right? It's like making pico de gallo without garlic. It'll do. It'll do. But you throw that garlic in that pico de gallo. Now people are asking you, how did you make this? It's just tomatoes, this and that. But there's a secret ingredient. There's a secret ingredient. A hustler's secret ingredient is inspiration. A hater's missing ingredient is inspiration. A hater's not inspired enough to ask how. Just envious enough to ask why. Why him? Why not me? Just envious enough to ask when you cop this. Just envious enough to ask who you think you are. Oh, you think you that man now? Yes. Because he asked how and when to go do it. That makes him different than you. That makes him different. That makes me different. A hustler will always be superior to a hater because he's not only inspired, but he's inquisitive enough to ask the right question, which is how. And he's hungry enough to go get it. A hater, even if you gave a hater the inspiration they need, even if you gave a hater the blueprint, he's not going to go get it. That's the big difference. A hater and a hustler are one ingredient different from each other. One ingredient's different. That's the only thing. I look at a successful man that has qualities that I want, not with eyes of envy, but with eyes of inspiration. That's the difference between me and a hater. Don't look at the people that are in the positions that you want to be in, that have the materials that you want to have, that are enriched with the qualities that you would like to enrich yourself with. Don't look at them with eyes of envy. Look at them with eyes of inspiration. Don't ask them questions to gauge their whys or their whats. Ask them questions to unearth their hows. Run that back. Ask them questions to unearth their hows. How they stayed focused, how they stayed inspired, how they stayed motivated, how they stayed disciplined, how they stayed hungry, how they got that lower APR. How they got that lower interest rate. May have those two things conflated. How they built their business. How they lost weight. I got a homie. I watched this homie. This is one of my closest homies, man. We working on a project together right now. We worked on a lot of stuff in the past. He's one of the reasons why I'm where I'm at today. I watched this homie go from he's always been physically gifted, well-built, strong athlete. I watched him go from a complete non-fighter to now being a professional MMA fighter. And I watched the entire process the whole way through. And, you know, I'm nice with my hands a little bit. Have had training since I was a little kid, on and off. But that was what I needed to be like, nah, I refuse to piss on my potential. I have to actualize it. I have to actualize it. I could be like, man, who you think you are now? Israel Adesanya? I didn't ask him who he think he is. I can see who he is. I know who he is. That's why you asking. A hater asks that question because they can see it. Nah, I asked him, how much do I gotta pay you to make me that lethal? To make me that sure of my fists and my knees and my shins and my feet and my elbows and my body as a weapon? How much do I need to pay you? How much time will it take me? How many hours of practice? That's all I'm asking. I'm asking how. How do I get to your dojo? The only who's I'm asking are who are your instructors? The who's lead me to more hows. That's the difference between a hater and a hustler, man. The psychology of a hater is not one of hate. It's just one that is uninspired. Intrinsically, not extrinsically. Because like I said, you can motivate him for the moment. You can give him all the hows, but it's just not in him. It's not in him. Man, that's one of my most passionate topics that I wanted to really touch on. And we're going to continue to touch on that in the future. But a hater, just an uninspired, bitter motherfucker. Trying to keep him down to 20 minutes. So I'll leave you with this. Are you a hater or a hustler? And if you a hater, how will you get inspired? Stay sophisticated.